Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to be doing the pros and cons of Jewel of the Seas by Royal Caribbean. So we have 6 pros for you and 6 cons for you. We just came off this ship a little bit ago. Every ship is different with Royal Caribbean, so it's pretty interesting. Each ship has its completely different pros and cons. Some are complete opposites of each other, even when they're sister ships. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we are going to start with the pros for the ship, and number 1 is going to be good dining room food and service. We were super happy with the main dining room food and service this trip. It is really hit or miss. There's a lot of ships that they're just not that good, and it's kind of a letdown. So it was a breath of fresh air to have great dining room food. I mean, all the food was very, very good. Amazing service, always bringing us bread, always everything was right, checking on us. So just overall, the main dining room on Jewel of the Seas, the food and the service is really good. So would definitely recommend going to main dining room on this ship. Now on to number 2. Number 2 is going to be that there was a lot of bars and they were all pretty fast. So we felt like everywhere we looked there was a bar near you. Some ships it's very sparse and they're kind of spread out, but everywhere we went there was just easy access to a bar. That being said, probably because there was a lot of bars for the ship space, they were all pretty fast. I mean, there have been many cruises that we are rolling our eyes. It's taking so long to get drinks, but overall, we really didn't have to wait that long. Of course, the sea day at the pool bar is going to be a little bit longer, but that's inevitable. But overall, great bar service. I just think they had a lot of them and they were all really fast. And since we're on the topic of bars, number 3 is going to be the Schooner bar. I'll be honest, it was just the coolest Schooner bar I've ever seen. They decked it out with decorations, I guess not decorations, but decor of old ships, and it was just a huge space, massive space, tons of seating. Again, just really cool artwork, the whole 9 yards they did in this Schooner bar, one of the coolest ones I've ever seen. And then attached to it is Safari Club, which was also really cool. It had pool tables, it had games you could play, it had checker tables and backgammon and just all these really cool amenities I've never seen on a Royal Caribbean ship. So overall, I thought it was very, very cool. Loved the Schooner bar and the safari area. Just a really cool ship space to spend the day. And now on to our 4th pro. It is going to be the Windjammer's layout / seating area. So we really liked just the layout of this Windjammer for seating. Not necessarily the way the buffets were set up, but inside there was just ample seating. It didn't feel too tight. A lot of Royal Caribbean ships are just so tight in the Windjammer, you can't even find a place to sit. There was just so much seating and it was very open. So it was really nice not to always fight for seating. There was even this really cool indoor outdoor area to the right side where you were kind of boxed in, but the windows were open, and that was just a really unique area. I've never seen that. And again, even more space, even more seating. And then out back, here's a picture of it because I didn't get a video of it, and there's us eating out here, but really nice and open outdoor area, like an actual beautiful outdoor Windjammer seating area. You don't see that anymore. I mean, it used to be on Norwegian ships way back when on the Sky and Sun, but overall just really nice, open and ample seating in the Windjammer. Alrighty, and number 5 on our pro list for Jewel of the Seas is their game shows / the staff for the game shows were fantastic. There was one guy in particular that was just absolutely hilarious. Also, the 70s party was really good. Everything just seemed really rehearsed and seamless. And they also had, I think, a 90s party. I don't know, it was 70s or 80s. There was a couple of them, but they were really, really good. They were hilarious. I mean, they kept you on your toes. The Love and Marriage game show, I have never seen a crazier one in my life. I mean, I can't even describe it to you. You can see what's going on the screen, okay? So overall, just really great little parties and little game shows and trivia. So their staffing for that department was really good and just overall hilarious and some really great game shows you don't want to miss. And now our 6th and final pro for this video is going to be something really unique on Jewel of the Seas. It is that they have an onboard movie theater. Yes, a whole freaking movie theater. I have never seen this on any cruise ship I've ever been on. It is legit a whole movie theater. I mean, you walk in, there's multiple rows, it's pitch black, a huge screen. It was pretty much open most of the time, and they were showing new movies, like the new How to Train Your Dragon and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I just thought it made the ship really unique, a really cool space, especially if you got kids or you just like to have yourself a nice movie. Really cool. I think it made it really unique. So movie theater here on Jewel of the Seas. And now we are moving on to the 6 cons of the Jewel of the Seas. So let's go ahead and get into it. Number 1 is actually going to be the overall layout of the ship and the elevators. So this ship is a very interesting layout. I can't really describe it necessarily other than there's just a lot of dead ends and the elevators are only on one side of the ship. They're like not really in the center. They're like only on one side. It just did not flow correctly. It was kind of easy to get in a spot where you were like, oh my God, I got to go to the other side to get an elevator, or just things like that. A lot of dead ends, like you would go down a hallway and that hallway ended, so then you'd have to go left. It was just a very choppy layout. The entire group said the same thing. They felt the same way. We just did not like the layout of the ship overall. It was, again, just not seamless and did not flow correctly. Great ship, but not the best layout. Now, I don't have a video clip of this, so you're just going to see some random videos here, so hang on with me on this one. But number 2 is that there was no soda stations anywhere but the buffet. On a lot of other Royal Caribbean ships, on like deck 6 or deck 4 or 5, they'll have some soda stations that you can use your reusable cup and get your sodas, but just literally on the buffet floor is the only place you could go get the sodas, unless I guess you would go up to a bar. But it's kind of nice just having those soda stations, especially if you have kids and things like that. They could just run up, get the sodas, and you're done. This ship did not have that, so that would be a con for me, number 2. Next up is con number 3, and this one sucks. So number 3 is going to be they put shows in the bad places. So we've been on a lot of ships that do this. Norwegian is known for doing this, and it drove us crazy. The game shows were great, fantastic, but they were always in too small of a venue. So, for example, some of the royal ships put the Love and Marriage game show in the theater because it's one of the biggest shows there are, and that's great. Here, they put everything in the Safari Lounge, and when I tell you we got there 45 minutes before a show and there still was not a seat to be had, there was nothing. You could not stand because you were in other people's way, people were getting in arguments, and we missed 3 shows because of this on our 3-night cruise because we seriously couldn't see. So they've got to put things in better and bigger venues when possible. I know sometimes it's not, but things like the Love and Marriage game show and maybe Majority Rules need to be put in a bigger venue because you just cannot enjoy them or even see them. So that was a huge con for us, super disappointing on Jewel of the Seas. And now on to number 4 of the cons is actually crazy enough gonna be the casino for us. We love the casino on all of our Royal Caribbean ships, and we actually just came off of Enchantment of the Seas, such a small ship, but they had a great casino. But needless to say, we just didn't really find that there was a lot of game options. There were no new game options. Again, we've sailed on so many ships and there's some really new games and just a ton of options, but there just really wasn't much of anything for slots. And the tables were good, not very many of them. So a lot of times it was very hard to find a seat. So you couldn't really play the table games all that often as they were really crowded because there was not many of them. And the layout was just kind of choppy, but that goes back to con number 1. The whole ship was very choppy. So we just did not like the layout of the casino. If you do want to see all the games and what the casino has to offer, check out our channel. There is a full walkthrough tour of everything on there for you. But yeah, for us, the casino games and layout just were not top notch. Next up, we have con number 5, and with every good thing, unfortunately, there tends to be a bad one. So for us, it was bad buffet food on this ship. Of course, our dining food was great. That being said, the buffet food, very below average for us. Again, last ship we went on, it was vice versa. We did not like the dining room food, and we loved the buffet food. So every ship is a little different, even if it is all Royal Caribbean. So for us, we just found the food to be lackluster, lacked a lot of seasonings. Like, we love the Indian food, and it just never was very good. The steaks weren't ever very good. The chicken was always dry. So odd enough, the buffet food on Jewel of the Seas just straight up wasn't good. We had one good breakfast. That was pretty much it. The other breakfast wasn't very good. Lunch was not good. Dinner was not good. So for us, unfortunately, a con on this ship is going to be the buffet food itself. Again, love the layout, love the main dining food, but the buffet food was definitely a miss on this ship. Also, a side note, if you want a full tour of breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the Windjammer on Jewel of the Seas, that is also on our channel, and you can check that out now. And our last con, number 6, I again don't have a lot of footage for this because I can't really film this, but number 6 con is going to be they rush you off the ship and they are very speaker happy. To explain that, we've been on a lot of ships that they don't come over the intercom in your room until much later in the morning. They don't bang on your doors if your do not disturb is on your door. If you don't have a certain time, they usually don't rush you out of the room too fast. Now, of course, they need you off the ship. They need to turn it. We've been on very many cruise lines and very many cruises with Royal Caribbean. Jewel of the Seas, they were intense. They were over the intercom every 10 minutes in your room. There was no way to turn it off, starting at 7 a.m. sharp. Then they continued to bang on our doors, even with our do not disturb on, about 7:30. Now, a lot of ships, we usually get out of our room between 8:45 and 9. We are some of the last people off, but we have no big rush. We don't usually have to fly anywhere. So that being said, it was not the best wake-up call, and they were very intense about it on Jewel of the Seas. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up our 6 pros and our 6 cons for Jewel of the Seas of Royal Caribbean. Overall, we had a great time on this ship. Again, while there's really good positives, there are some negatives, and that's just how cruising is. Comment down below what is your positive and your negative if you have ever sailed on this ship. Go check out our channel. We have vlogs, we have tours, we have everything on Jewel of the Seas and many other cruise ships as well. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one.